All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Win Liberty, and with me is...
Boaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got some stuff. We got PlayStation Plus and games with gold for the month. We got Monster Hunter revealed for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Game still flopped, so we'll talk about that. Dragon's Crown coming to PS4, which is pretty cool. Zone of the Enders, the Second Runners Mars remaster VR game. Dissidia FF gets a new character, Noctis. Left Alive, new IP from a familiar setting. It's really confusing. We'll talk about it a little bit. Then we'll just sum up what we thought about TGS this year. Before we get into that, let's talk about what we played this week. So I didn't really play a whole lot new. I just kept trucking along in XCOM, War of the Chosen. Expansion's still really, really good. Although, I don't know if I'm actually going to finish it because I feel like once you beat one of the Chosen, it kind of follows a certain type of pattern, you know? Like it's kind of like don't get me wrong, I still think it's a fantastic expansion, but I feel like I got to the second Chosen, right? And I actually found the second Chosen a lot easier to deal with than the first one, right?
Yeah.
Because the first one, you're dealing with this Chosen when you have really low tier gear, so she is much more of a threat. But by the time I had to deal with the second Chosen, I was so much more prepared. I had so much better equipment that it was like not that difficult to finish, to fight. So I honestly don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna continue it, because it's like I want to finish it, but at the same time, there's so much other games that I need to play that I think I could probably just pause the expansion and jump onto something else.
Okay.
So it's not that it's bad. It's just I think I might just pause it for now. So I played a bunch of Overwatch in the meantime.
Oh, really?
Alright, so this is a very bizarre series of events that happened, because as we talked about, the patch finally went live for the console players, and we talked about the changes, right? And two of my main characters I play all the time got changed drastically. So let's get the one out of the way. So I picked up D.Va, and I played her new kit, and it's one of those things where it's like, I don't necessarily think D.Va's new kit is bad, but I'm not good with her anymore. Like, at all. I'm actually quite bad. Really bad. And it was to the point where I was like, okay, I feel like I'm actually causing us to lose games by trying to figure her out. And I think part of the problem is that I don't really like playing tanks that play like this. I don't like bully characters, I guess. That type of play style. I don't even think that she's bad. And for people, I've seen people do crazy things with D.Va, like the new D.Va with the Helix rockets and the more mobility and so on and so forth. But it doesn't really fit my play style that well. So I'm having a lot of trouble getting used to her. So I kind of just didn't really play a whole lot of her. Surprisingly, the tank hero that I switched to and have had a lot more fun playing is Roadhog. So, as someone who played a lot of Roadhog, and then Roadhog has gotten, like, battered to death for a while, right?
Yeah.
The quality of life changes actually make him a lot more fun to play. Because the thing about Roadhog is that the fact that you can move and heal makes a big damn difference. Because you're not locked into a position. You can heal yourself and go around a corner.
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference as far as positioning and how that goes. I love the fact that he has 5 shots instead of 4 in his gun. It allows you to be a lot more aggressive with him just in general. And yeah, I was just, for some reason, I found myself playing less and less of D.Va and more of Roadhog, because I like the changes that they made to Roadhog. Just simply allowing him to move and heal made him a lot more fun to play. And then, of course, there's the big one. So I don't know if you've been playing this, but a lot of games that I have been playing have been surrounded with the fact that, yes, Mercy is there.
Yeah. I mean,
Mercy,
to be fair,
Mercy. Oh, sorry,
sorry.
what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, to be fair, Mercy has always been the most popular support,
Hmm.
especially on
But
console.
I find it
It's a lot more
more
common.
aggressive because
Yeah.
of the rework, and it's because yeah, she is very strong, and being able to bring people back to life every 30 seconds is very strong. And a lot of games, unfortunately, and this is something where it's like I'm having a lot of fun with the new Mercy, but I see that she's causing a lot of problems for the meta as a whole, because a
Yeah, she's
lot
kind of
a
hard.
lot of games that I'm playing right now, it revolves around who has the better Mercy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of a problem but I still liked playing her. I find her ultimate a little bit hard to kind of, yeah, you have to play her differently. Like you really do. Like to a certain extent you do, because it's like before you just held on to that ultimate and then you went ham, right? And you always talked about how you always felt that Mercy's ultimate, she got it way too fast, right?
Yeah.
And like this ultimate, she still gets just as fast, and in a lot of ways it's insanely powerful, and a lot like it's one of those things where it's like I like playing as Mercy. I still do. I am a Mercy main, and I have dropped 52 hours of Mercy. Like when I look at my stats, like Mercy is my most played character because I like playing her a lot. I like
Yeah.
jumping from people and flying around. So I like it when you ult and you get to fly around like a maniac. I don't really shoot the gun. I
Mm.
see people do that and I think like you guys are freaking stupid. Um, and like it's one of those things where it's like I'm still enjoying her, I'm having fun, but I am very well aware that she is causing problems with the meta right now, and I think
Yeah.
what they're gonna have to do is that yeah, they're gonna have to probably tweak a couple of those numbers, because at the moment the fact that almost every single game I'm playing there is a Mercy on both sides, and whenever there isn't a Mercy you feel that the team that doesn't have a Mercy has an advantage, just naturally has an advantage, is a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm
No, like
interested what you think if you got to play any Overwatch this week.
yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna segue off of what you said. Yeah, like one thing that I didn't notice in the patch notes when I was talking about her last
Week,
podcast
yeah, last podcast.
was that taking damage when she pops her ultimate, taking damage doesn't stop her regeneration anymore, and that makes her very difficult to kill when she's
Mm-hmm.
popping her. First of all, her ultimate lasts for 10 seconds, you know? For comparison, just to put it into perspective, Dragon Blade is 6,
Mm-hmm.
Attack Visor is 6, I think. Molten Core is 12. Um, what's it called? The tank? Yeah, tank configuration tank is 10.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on the higher end, right? And on
Yeah.
top of that, okay, so it increases her movement speed. It gives her the ability to fly indefinitely, increases her movement speed while she's flying, makes it so her health is always regenerating. Even if you damage her, it doesn't, it keeps regenerating. Resets the cooldown of resurrection, makes resurrections cooldown 10 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
makes her healing hits all nearby targets, makes her damage boost hits all nearby targets, and we haven't even spoken about the pistol yet, right?
Yeah.
And then keep in mind that Mercy's ultimate, it's not like they increase the cost of the ultimate while they were doing all of this. It's still a really easy ultimate to build
Mm-hmm.
up. It's really still a really fast ultimate to build up. So, I they need to tweak some of the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
100%. She's too strong. I mean, I try not to jump the gun too early, but yeah, she's way too strong. Like for me, the big thing was the regeneration, because it's
Mm-hmm.
like all of a sudden when she pops her ultimate, she's almost impossible to kill now.
Yeah.
And that's
That's a
just
problem. Like
that's a
you know
problem.
how the big distinction. You're saying like we don't want to jump the gun, right? I'm a Mercy main, and I'm saying that she's too strong right now. Like I am the. You would think that I would be the most biased here and say like, nah, Fawaz, what are you talking about? This is a great change. Nothing's wrong with this. And it's like, no, I honestly believe that this is a problem, and these numbers
This is
need
a problem.
these
Yeah,
numbers.
and I hope they don't take too long to fix this, because I think it's the really bad kind of problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, like I've always said, there's always going to be characters that are too strong. But then
Mhm.
there's some characters that are too strong, and then there's some that are just problematic. And I think the current Mercy is somewhat problematic. Now, with that said, I don't think she's as problematic as Anna used to be because I don't believe, and I might be wrong on this one, I don't believe that she. So everyone picks Mercy now, right? But like
Mhm.
back in the day, everyone picked Anna. Everyone picked Anna like 3 times. Whereas in this situation, people still pick a decent variety of characters, but then they
Yeah.
auto lock Mercy as the main healer, right?
Yeah.
So at the very least, it encourages people to play healers. What am I saying? I'm going off on a digression. Yes, they need to fix this. This is problematic. They actually released a patch. There's a patch on the PTR right now with a change. It's not in relation to this, which was kind of disappointing when I saw it because it took them like a week to patch Bastion. I don't think she's as bad as Bastion was.
Mhm.
I don't think she makes the game as unenjoyable to play
No.
as Bastion did. So that's good at least. But yeah, they do need to fix this. But yeah, the patch that just hit the PTR. I'm just gonna quickly touch on it. It's a minor. Well, it's not a minor change. It's a short change. So transformation ultimates drain immediately now. Sorry, all ultimates drain instantly now. Once you hit the alt button, triangle or Q or Y, you're committed. Your alt is gone. I don't know if you
Mm.
remember, I used to complain a lot about this. That Genji would pop Dragon Blade and get killed, but he get killed so fast that he kept the Dragon Blade and then pop it again the next team fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. The second you hit that button, bam, alt is gone. Now, when I first read this, I was like, oh, that's insane. That's I love this. So Genji and 76 stop getting rewarded for popping their alts in bad spots. What I didn't realize, right, was how it was going to affect Lucio. So Lucio's ultimate does not activate until he hits the ground, right?
Right.
And
Oh
how it used to
no.
work was you would hit triangle, he would jump up. Let's break it down. When he hit the ground, his ultimate would drain, right?
Mhm.
Not anymore. The second you hit it, it's gone. So what happens is sometimes Lucio jumps up before he hits the ground. You kill him, right?
Mhm.
Because there's a bit of a wind up on his ultimate,
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if you're trying to do it on a reaction to like a rip tire, sometimes you do it too slow. Yeah, now if you do it too slow, that's it. You've lost your ultimate. Sometimes you pop your ult and then like another Lucio boops you off the edge. So you just like let's break it. Yeah.
Uh,
If you do that now, that's it. It's gone. One of the best plays I've ever seen in a tournament. This Lucio tried to pop his ultimate. The other Lucio went underneath him, booped him back into the air, and then killed him in midair before he hit the ground.
oh man, that's
He
fucking
kept his
rad.
ult. He kept his ult, right?
Mhm.
That's not the case anymore. So now it is a bit worrisome. However, I do think this is good in the long run because now there's counterplay. There was literally no counterplay to a Lucio ultimate, I mean,
Mhm.
sure, the counterplay was technically to kill him before he ulted, so you could win
Mhm.
that team fight, but he would always keep the ultimate for another team fight, right? There was no way. The only actual counter to Sound Barrier was EMP. Fuck EMP for the record. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah.
and then Reinhardt. Reinhardt's another one that I didn't think of because when Reinhardt does hammer down, his ult didn't drain until his hammer hit the ground.
Hit the
So
ground.
sometimes a Roadhog, there's this really funny thing I would see all the time where a Roadhog would pop Whole Hog.
Mhm.
Reinhardt would try to pop Earth Shatter, and then the Whole Hog would send him flying into the air, and then he'd die before he hit the ground, right? But then he'd always keep his ultimate. That wouldn't happen anymore. Now,
Mhm.
once you pop ult, it's gone. So yeah, that's the big change that's happening on the PTR right now. It's
Mhm.
probably we'll see. We'll see how I feel when it goes live. But I play Zarya. My
Yeah.
ultimate's disjointed. Once I hit triangle, y'all are getting grabbed. And that's
Yeah.
the end of
That's
that.
usually the end of that. Yeah.
But yeah, that was just a quick digression. You were saying? You're gonna say?
No, well, that's really what I played, and it's like we'll see how it goes from the future. I do find that I still overall like her new kit. I'm still having fun with her new kit. I'm glad at the very least it's not the D.Va problem. Because the problem I'm having with D.Va is I actually don't like the way that she plays now. I don't even think that she's bad, and I want to make that big distinction. I don't think that she's bad. I just don't enjoy the way that she plays now, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if I have to give it another shot or if it's just gonna take a little bit more practice for me to kind of break through that barrier.
Mm.
But it's unfortunate because it's like those were like my two go-dos, and
Mm.
and thank God I slowly over time have started branching out, and now I'm all about that Roadhog. Now it's the hog is back. The hog is back, and he's ready to fight. So but that's basically what I played this week.
Let the record show that the hog change probably ended up being a lot better for him than I thought it would be. I'm just going to put that out there. I do think he is a lot. I mean, okay, it was objectively a buff, so he was going to be better. But I thought it was one of those fluff buffs that don't actually. But no, like I don't think he's great.
No, he's definitely. I'm not saying that he's like, oh, he's top tier or anything, but he's a lot better than his old position.
Yeah,
where he was
for
before.
sure. Yeah. So good on them for that. But yeah, you wanna get into some news because I played Overwatch and I've already
we basically jumped back and forth about Overwatch.
So you wanna get into some news?
Yeah, so we got some PlayStation Plus games. We've got two pretty crazy ones. We got Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Solid 5, and we've got the Amnesia Collection for PS4. So that's a pretty damn two good titles. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, this is a really good month for Sony. I mean, there's a couple of other games, but at this point, no one cares. We only talk about the PS4 games. So yeah, MGS. When my friend told me that MGS5 was going to be the free game, I had to double check because I was like, that can't be true. That can't be true. That's way too good. So you know what? Good on you, Sony. Now, I'm gonna download this. I'm probably never going to play it if I'm being realistic.
You're you're just gonna download it so that it stays in your library, so that once in a blue moon you might boot it up.
One day, maybe one of these summers when there's nothing to play, when I've finally gotten through my back catalog and I have nothing else to play, I'll be like, hey, let me check out this MGS5, right? But this is this is what we've been complaining about, right, for so long. This is exactly what we've wanted. The only thing that we need to do now, Sony, is we need to get these PS3 and Vita games out of here and try to get us maybe one, maybe two more PS4 games. Because, let's just be real here. Nobody plays the Vita. The Vita is dead. And the PS3, it had a nice, long life, but the PS3 is dead, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe make it one more PS4 game and a VR game or something like that. But yeah, this is a solid-ass month. After another, so, I mean, we got Infamous Second Son and, what's that thing called? And shit.
The space one?
Strike Vector.
We got
Second Son and Strike Vector last month, and then we get MGS and Amnesia this month. That's two very good back-to-back months. I can't stress this enough. My friend said it, and I was like, he's bullshitting. There's no way it's MGS5. I had to go. I was like, this guy goes again with his misinformation. I had to go look it up, and it's like, no, real talk. It actually is MGS5. So shout outs to Sony.
Yeah. I also want to put credit because that's also usually it's you get one good title and one kind of mad title.
Yeah.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent, the first one, is still a fantastic horror game. It's getting some scary flashbacks. I played that game on the PC. I don't know how it runs. It probably runs fine on the PS4. But I played that game on the PC, and my friend was there. He saw me throw the mouse away. Cause I got so scared. Cause it was one. There's a specific moment where it's I was at an escape, and I could hear the music popping up, so I could tell the monster was close. But I was like, wait, how close is the monster? So I turned to go peek around the corner, and the monster was an inch away from my face.
Oh.
And I freaking lost it, ran the fuck up the ladder, and my friend was just dying of laughter because I was just oh. So that's and it comes with machine. I think it's 1 and 2, which is Dark.
I think it's 1 and 2. Yeah. Unless I'm mistaken, it might even be 1, 2, and 3. Maybe I didn't read that. Yeah, Amnesia Collection. So let me just double check really quick.
Is there? I don't think is there a third one? Because I've only played the 2.
Where is it? I swear they said this. God damn it.
Maybe there was an expansion.
Whatever. It's the Amnesia Collection.
It's probably got Machine for Pigs and Dark Descent, and Machine for Pigs is it's disappointing as a sequel to Dark Descent, but it's still an average kind of game. It's not bad, but it's you're getting both. You can try them. There were
Okay, yeah, it is three. I just checked. Amnesia, The Dark Descent, A Machine for Pigs, and Justine.
Really? I completely missed Justine. I didn't even hear it.
Justine, you know
Justine.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Shout out to anyone who gets that reference.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, listen, I love making references that no one will get. It's my favorite thing.
But yeah, Justine, it's an expansion for Amnesia. So yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Three.
So, yeah, good titles. Good titles all around.
Good titles, good shit, Sony. Microsoft, not so much. Okay, I take that back. So you get the Gone Home and the Turing Test. Two games I've heard a lot of good things about. You're the one who's played the Turing Test, right?
No. I'm like,
isn't that the one where you're in like a you're in like an office and there's a
no, that's the Stanley Parable. I've played the Stanley Parable. The Turing Test is something completely different. They're both kind of Gone Home and the Turing Test are both in that same vein where they're kind of like walking simulators in the sense where it's like, you know, you're kind of walking around, there is a story, like it's that type of game. I know it's not for everyone, but apparently Gone Home is like pretty good because it tells like a really interesting story. I was actually kind of happy to see for the 360 part Rayman 3 because I actually like Rayman 3 a lot. I think that's a pretty fun game.
Yo, I actually used to like Rayman. I don't know what happened. Medal of Honor Airborne. Wasn't this one awful? Wasn't this the one that...
that one was terrible. That one was absolutely terrible.
So yeah, we're not going to talk about that. So yeah, Rayman 3 HD, the Turing Test, and Gone Home. This is a very old school PS, PlayStation Plus kind of collection of games. Cause this was the shit that I hated when they give us because I don't like any of these types. I don't like the walking simulators and I don't like the first person puzzle games. But you know, this isn't a bad list. Yeah, so you know, good shit Microsoft.
It's not the worst. Rayman 3 is pretty good. Rayman 3 is pretty good. But yeah, overall pretty decent. So let's talk about our favorite punching bag, Marvel. So I had a very interesting experience watching this trailer. So for those who don't know what we're talking about, the Monster Hunter, a new character for Marvel Infinite, got revealed, and it got revealed in this like 2-minute trailer. So as someone who is a huge Monster Hunter fan, I've got to say I had this weird moment where I was like, I feel kind of hyped from this trailer. Like, I honestly felt really hyped. Like, the animation was cool. It was new and different. The character felt true to the game. Like, all the moves that character does in that trailer are all moves that you can do in those Monster Hunter games. Like, they are, like, exact moves. Like, similar to how Andante does moves from his games, like, these are moves, literal moves from Monster Hunter. And there were so many like attention to detail moments in that trailer. Like she's got dual swords, right? And they're Brachydios dual swords. And one of the coolest little Easter eggs in that is that when she combos in that trailer, she just hits and hits and hits, and then there's an explosion, right?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why there's an explosion is because in the Monster Hunter games, those dual swords have the slime trait to them, and how it works is that the more and more you hit a monster with those weapons, it will proc an explosion. And the character in Monster Hunter, when you hit it, it will turn from like a green slime to an orange slime to a red slime and then explode. And in the trailer, you see the characters go from green to orange to red to explode. And the fact that there's a super in which she launches you in the air, drops a barrel bomb, and like does like a bomb run. And that's something that you would totally do in Monster Hunter. And there were like so many small little details. I was just like, this. If they had done more of this, the game would have been fine. You know, like, and it's so unfortunate. And somebody pointed out like, why is this character not in the base game? Because that would have been a character that people could be excited for. You know.
Exactly. I know. Here's the thing: is that sorry, were you done?
No. I was pretty much done. I just, it was such a weird experience because like every single trailer I've seen about Marvel, I've just kind of either yawned or like, oh, it's not selling me on anything, you know? Like nothing is there. And then this was the first trailer that actually made me perk up and go, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she looks she looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Just straight up, she looks amazing. And remember, from day one, when they did the league list, it's so funny because when they did the league list, I was like, wow, this list looks like shit.
Mm-hmm.
However, of all the characters I'm seeing here, I'm interested to see how they handle a Monster Hunter hero.
Mm-hmm.
Only for us to find out that she's not even going to be in the base game, and that was when I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, no, I completely agree. She looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
From obviously, I didn't look at it from your point of view. What I found interesting though was that I think because when we guessed, right,
Mm-hmm.
we guessed how the character was going to play, and
Mm-hmm.
unless I'm mistaken, we were completely spot on.
Yeah, we were
like,
pretty spot on. We were like,
that.
she was gonna have multiple weapons, probably have one ranged weapon, one melee weapon, you know.
Yeah, she'd have one like fast weapon. Obviously, she'd have the giant sword, and then
Mm-hmm.
she'd probably have the bow. And yeah, we were like completely right. The Rathalos armor. I mean, I'm
That,
still mad that Rathalos isn't in this game.
you just wanted us. You wanted him to call in a super with Rathalos. I know that's what you wanted.
I was like, if you're not gonna give me Rathalos as a playable character, then give her like a super where she like rides Rathalos or something. It's like what the
I'm not
hell,
gonna.
guys?
Yeah, like that would have been cool. It wouldn't made a whole lot of sense because there's not a whole
Sure.
lot because you're hunting these monsters. You're not
Yeah.
exactly friends with these and there's a whole other spin-off game in which you are, but that's beside the point. But it's one of those things where it's like. You still get a bunch of cool shit with those supers. Those supers are so full of like little Easter eggs about and how the game like just little nods to the games themselves that it's like I'm bummed that there isn't some stupid super in which like Gravio shows up and does like a hyper beam because that would be hilarious to me, but it's like nah, like it's like I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, yeah. But however, to get to the actual point
Mm-hmm.
is that the game did not sell well. So the first week figures came out, and in the UK it bombed. It debuted at number 12. To put that
Mm-hmm.
into perspective for you, Monster Hunter, this Nintendo Switch port of Pokken Tournament
Mm-hmm.
debuted at 10, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's 12 is awful, straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it debuted at 12, and it obviously bombed in Japan because no one gives a damn about like even Marvel 3, which had like positive reception going in, bombed in Japan. So that's not
Mm-hmm.
surprising. We don't know the American numbers yet, but I mean, you probably do okay. And keep in mind, none of these charts take digital into consideration. However, with all of that said, this is not a good sign
Mm-hmm.
at all, which is really surprising because I thought people would be rushing out and lining up to pay money for shit. But hey, I guess I was wrong. I guess people don't line up to try to buy manure. So who would have thought? But
You know it's funny because it's like the more that I saw about it was like I felt that what was pissing people off is that like there's a certain level of reverence with Marvel in the fighting community
yeah,
especially, and it's like because the fighting community a lot of ways made Marvel what it is today,
yeah,
in a lot of ways, and then you can see this huge like disdain for like how the game is being marketed, what people are saying about the game, the roster especially, and you see that it's like yeah, people were just fed up and tired, and they were just like you know what, no, like and the people who are supporting this game are like the ones who didn't care, like they're the ones who are like the ones who saw this game as function versus function or the ones who supported the game and continue to say whatever, we don't care if there's a shitty roster, we're going to play the game regardless. And it is fascinating to see like this is definitely you could see that this show is just like how you have to treat your audience with a certain level of respect.
straight up, you
Yeah.
can't keep doing this shit where you just like you half-ass. You so blatantly half-ass a product, and then at the end of your half-ass trailer, you're like, don't forget to pre-order. It's like fuck out of here, seriously.
Well, you know what?
Like I think
Somebody also pointed out to me, which I thought was interesting. Is just like It's fascinating to me because it's like it's almost like sometimes you can tell which projects Capcom actually cares about and which ones they don't. Like if you look at like Street Fighter Five, like Street Fighter Five, it was a pretty decent game, but like there's money, there should have been more money put into it. You know, there should have been more time put into it, more effort, so that the game could have launched with more features, right? Like we've talked about that in length in other podcasts. But you look at something like Resident Evil 7, like there was a lot of time and effort put into that game. Like the game is a really solid horror game. It's a solid homage. There was a lot of really interesting content in that game, and you could tell that there's a lot of effort. And then you see something like, you know, Marvel, and you go, well, this seems super rushed. And then you take a couple steps over and you look over at Monster Hunter World, and you see the intense amount of effort and time and polish that they're putting into that game, and you kind of go, is Capcom just putting more money into whatever projects they personally feel are the ones to do so, and not like actually thinking about what projects need the time and the resources? Like it's bizarre.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. It is bizarre because look at Monster Hunter and it looks amazing, and then you look at this game and it looks like it came from two completely different companies. And just as a quick shit, I lost it. Crap.
No, Fawaz, get it back. Pick it up. Don't drop the super. Don't drop it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. On Steam, it's dropped so low. Because you know how Steam tracks how many people are playing a game, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's currently below No Man's Sky on Steam.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's the biggest kick in the balls I've seen in a while.
And you know what the most tragic part is? The game is actually a lot. The game looks like a lot of fun. I was recently watching tournaments, and the core gameplay actually looks amazing. It looks fun. It looks like one of the best. I love the active switch system. So here's the thing: I love Marvel 3, and I love Marvel 3 like unconditionally. However, one thing that I do think they did really, really well with this is that the active switch system makes it, because in Marvel 3 it always felt like, say my team was Wolverine, Spencer, Sentinel, right?
Yeah.
If I'm playing with Wolverine on point, it felt like I was playing with Wolverine and an extra and a couple of assists, right? It didn't feel like it was 3v3. However, in this, watching it anyway, it actually looks like 2v2 all the time, because you're always tagging. Like I was watching a match and then I realized midway through the match that I didn't even know who this person's points character was. I didn't know who they started with and who was the person behind, because they just keep switching and switching and stuff. And yeah, man, I actually think like from a gameplay point of view, this is one of the best from a gameplay point of view, I think this is a really, really good game. Unfortunately, they got everything else wrong, and now the game is going to suffer as a result, you know? Like, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm happy. I'm very, very happy that this game flopped, but it's like a bitter happiness, right? Because I'm a fighting game fan and I love the Versus series, and I should be playing this game now. This should be what I'm talking about when people are like, oh, what did you play this guys? We're talking about how, oh yeah, I've been playing Marvel Infinite. That game is awesome. I've been watching a bunch of tournaments. The game actually does look awesome. But
it's one of those things where it's like the core game. It's basically I think how I could describe it. This is how I describe it. You're at the restaurant and you've got this great meat. You've got this great like steak, right? Now the steak itself is fine. There's nothing wrong with the steak, but the presentation of the steak and how the server bumbled around and almost dropped it and then picked it up and then put it back on the plate and then served it to you and like forgot to put salt on it, right? Like, that's what this game feels like. It's like, it's not that the steak was fine, but the presentation and how it was released and how it was marketed was so terrible that it just ruined the entire experience.
pretty much. And yeah, at this point, we're just
Yeah.
just beating a dead horse.
This has become our new Battleborn, because that
This
game
our
is
new
that
Battleborn.
game
Yeah.
super fucking died, by the way. It died almost with no fanfare, which is like the best way for that to conclude.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. I actually just got an email from Gearbox asking if I wanted to sign up for a beta for their next game. And I'm
Oh,
like, no,
really?
no,
Yeah,
thanks.
you sure? I would jump on board. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so TGS happened. There's a bunch of other cool stuff. Dragon's Crown coming to PS4.
Yeah. So my first impression was like pure hype when this got announced, right? Because I love Dragon's Crown. I loved it on the Vita. I absolutely loved it on the Vita. So I was like, but then I never got to play it with like friends because
Yeah.
I had it on the Vita and no one owns a Vita.
Yeah.
So um now that I saw this coming, I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. Maybe I'll check this out. Unfortunately, it looks like there's no
Online.
new content.
No new con. Oh, no new con. Well, here's my question: is there still like online play?
Oh yeah, of course. I didn't mind. I didn't release this game without online play.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I
the
did. I
online
mean,
play-
like, I don't know, but it's like you were expecting this to be like Dragon's Crown, like Super Edition, in which it had its own like bonus campaign or bonus mission or something like that.
Yeah, maybe a bonus mission, maybe a bonus character, but I wasn't really expecting a bonus character. Because the other thing with Dragon's Crown, it's a really fun game,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of content, there actually is not a lot of core content there. There's 8 levels. Once you beat the 8 levels, you unlock the B path of each level. So let's say there's like, I don't want to say 16, so let's say there's 14 levels. Let's say 14. I'll give them 14 because like the B paths open up very early in the stages, so it's not like a Devil May Cry 4 situation where they try to double up and they just use the same stages twice. No, the B
Right.
paths are actually completely different. And like, okay, so the 8 paths have 8 bosses, and then the B paths also have like completely different bosses, right?
Right.
So there's actually 16 different bosses in the game. Once you beat that, then you unlock the higher difficulty, and it just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And
Yeah.
so there's not actually a lot of core like gameplay in there. It's a lot of playing the same stuff over and over again, which was fine. Like I squeezed a solid 70 hours out of this game playing solo, by the way.
Yeah, you played solo, which is crazy to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I played completely. I mean, like there was this one dude who I tried to play with for a bit, but that didn't really work out. So yeah, pretty much solo. So like with this game, if it comes out, and first of all, if it comes out and it's not full price, and then on top of that, if it comes out and a bunch of my friends get it, then I'm definitely in there. I'll definitely pick it up. I pretty much just played the elf, so I think I'm gonna try out the wizard this time around.
Mhm.
I wanted to play the Amazon because I'm an ass man all day, but
Yeah.
she's really hard to play, and her shtick is she has a parry. That's her thing. So maybe that's the other thing is that every character plays so different that playing the game with a brand new character might feel like just playing a brand new game.
Brand new game. Yeah.
So yeah, like real
I
talk, like if
mean-
you pick it up, if Jason picks it up, it's coming out in January in Japan, and just based on what they did with Odin Sphere, I would bet on a June release date. Now, at the same time, they were porting Odin Sphere from the PS2 to the PS4, whereas they're porting
Yeah,
this
this feels like, yeah, I feel like this might actually come out a little bit sooner, hopefully. I don't know. Especially since there is yeah, I don't know. I don't know why, for some reason, why it takes so long for them to port, or at least get the English versions made of these games.
Yeah.
Just considering that they already exist, technically.
Yeah.
It's not like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we gotta translate everything. It's like, no, there's a version of this game that technically already exists, and you have, like, most of the translations done. I mean, with Odin Sphere, it was a little bit different because they actually reworked a bunch of those mechanics, and they changed parts of the game. So it's kind of like, I mean, like, I'm super excited to see this just get onto the PS4 because I really want to play it. I want to give it a shot. I actually, I played a little bit on Fawaz's Vita, and I enjoyed it a lot. Like I played the Knight.
Yeah, the Knight's like the tank. I never played him because a lot of his mechanics were revolved around tanking. So attracting damage to him away from your teammates. But I played solo. So
Well, I mean, yeah. So it's kind of like for you, if you're gonna play. Yeah, I played solo, and I think I beat the Harpy boss, which was pretty cool. But yeah, honestly, I just like to see this game get into more people's hands. So I think it's good. Yeah, I mean, like I honestly, it's like as cool as this was, I was like, I want to see 13 Sentinels. Where's 13 Sentinels?
we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that later.
We're gonna get to that
But-
later. But also
But-
cool stuff. Zone of the Enders, Second Runners Mars, or it's basically it's a remaster of Zone of the Enders 2 with some VR support. And I don't think it's like it's fully in VR. I think it's some sections are in VR. Yeah, at least I think.
Oh, okay.
Well, what did you think this was?
I honestly wasn't sure. I just looked at it and I just assumed that okay, it's a re-release of Zone of Enders. Like the whole honestly the VR elements, I didn't even. I was like, as long as this is in a situation where they've like made a VR version of this game and I can still just play with a regular controller and without that stupid headset, I'm
headset,
fine.
yeah. Like it's I from what I've heard is that you can still play the game like the classic. I think it's one of those things where like there's the classic mode and then there's this VR mode as well where you can basically play these segments in VR. Although I
Yeah.
have to admit, when I was seeing these segments in VR, I was like, okay, it is that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to be in a mech suit, especially when you have such a radical design. I have to give this game credit because like I know very little about Zone of the Enders, but I know those mecha designs and those mecha designs look rad. So I kind of want to just give it a shot, you know.
Yeah, no, same here. On the flip side, on the flip side though, I was actually just talking to my friend because he was asking me why I never beat MGS3, and I was like, because I didn't have a PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Two?
PS2,
Yes.
PS2.
I didn't have a PS2 at the time, and when the re-release came out, like I have a bad history with re-releases. I think the only re-release that I bought that I actually beat was Jack and Daxter, and I only beat the first one. I didn't beat the second and the third.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I feel like there's a situation where with a lot of these re-releases, it's difficult for me to get into the game because like a lot of these games haven't aged well. Let's just keep it real, right?
No,
But
absolutely.
then I think it's telling that the only re-release I beat was one that I had already played and I already had a history with. The only Jack game I beat was the Jack game that I played. I didn't play 2. I didn't beat 2. I didn't even play 3. So the fact that what was my point? Oh yeah, so Zone of Enders. I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, but I do appreciate being given the option.
Exactly. Like it's nice that they are just porting into a bigger like the next system and that people are gonna be because it's one of those things where it's like I was like that mentality too where it's like I didn't really understand re-releases, but then when I got to play Remake, my opinion kind of changed a little bit because Remake was actually amazing and a lot of fun and surprisingly aged well.
I mean, but like Remake was a straight up remake, though,
Well,
right?
the thing about Remake is that it was an old game. It was a game from 2003. Resident Evil Remake. Okay, Remake is one of those weird things where it's like it's a remake of the first Resident Evil, but this came out like early. This came out on the GameCube. That was originally what it came out for. So when I finally got
on GameCube.
Yeah. So when I finally got to play it, I was just like, oh man, this game's actually a lot of fun, and the level design is really, really awesome. And there's a general level of dread that I felt playing the game, and there's some good horror elements. There's this whole segment where you're getting chased by this like really weird creature in a cave, and it's super tense, and it's like that was a lot of fun, and I felt bad that I never even thought about going back to that. So I kind of like that these are options, you know, that this is always on the table. That it's like when I get the time. Because I actually really want to play MGS 3. Because I've heard nothing but praise about it. And I've really never actually got to play MGS 3.
Yeah, no, same. I mean, like on paper I want to play it, but I'm not sure if I'll play it. It will end up like another Shadow of the Colossus situation where I'm like, oh, okay, cool, just never going to finish this game. But yeah, Zone of Enders remaster. So looking forward to. Yeah, I'm not even going to lie. I don't actually care.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like, this is one of those things where it's like I understand you're just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'm just like, I think it's cool. I might give it a shot. but it's not on my priority list. You know,
Yeah.
like I've already got too many other things that I actually need to play. I can even talk about how I bought Splatoon 2 and I have yet to actually put it in my Switch because I just haven't had the time.
Yep, I know about it, but yeah, one game I am looking forward to playing is Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. You gotta say the full name. And it just recently revealed a brand new character. Now, to the surprise of absolutely no one, Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 got added to the game. So yeah, I guess that's good. I've got a little story trailer where there's like some character, some very anime character talking to all the heroes that she's added, talking about how y'all have to kick each other's asses to generate enough energy to save the world. And I'm like, this is a stupid plot.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want it. I want like, see, if we're gonna go full stupid, I want it to be self-aware. Like I want it to be like she's explaining the plot. And Titus is by and goes, "That's stupid. Ha 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 ha." Like I want that. I want that level of like just the worst.
Yeah.
I want that. I don't know. Like it's like I've always been the advocate. It's like if I'm gonna have a stupid story, I want it to be absolutely stupid. I want it to be. I don't want a 5. I want a 2. I want a 1.
No, I do agree with you on that actually. But yeah, the game still looks cool. I didn't get. I don't know if the open beta has happened. No, it hasn't happened yet. I don't know if the closed beta has happened yet. If it did, I didn't get in, and they didn't have the courtesy of sending me an email to tell me to eat shit. So yeah, because like watching the game is very difficult because right now I don't understand shit. So I'm watching it and just a bunch of people floating around doing stuff. So we shall see. But yeah, Noctis being added to Final Fantasy is pretty cool. Yeah.
What else do we have? Left Alive. That looks pretty cool.
Yes. So at Sony's press conference, one of the only brand new games that was actually announced at Sony's press conference, and I'm going to get to this in a bit, was Left Alive. So it was really funny because they revealed the artwork, right? And it's like, it looks exactly like Metal Gear. And then they're like, oh yeah, character design is done by the guy who did the designs in Metal Gear, and I'm like, really? No shit. I couldn't tell. Have you looked at the poster for this game?
I've seen the art. Like that is literally Metal Gear art. Like it's absolutely Metal Gear art.
Like if they didn't put the name on it, I would be like, oh, brand new Metal Gear. That would have been my first thought. Like the art is like straight out of Metal Gear. Looks like MGS. Looks like the MGS3 box art. But anyway. The game is being described as a survival shooter with like mechs set in the world of Front Mission. And the team that they've put together for this game is quite interesting. So first of all, you have Toshifumi Nabeshima, the director from what's this thing called? Armored Core.
Armored Core. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, then you've got Yoji Shinkawa, the character designer for Metal Gear series. Takayuki Yanase, the mech designer. He did some mech designs for Ghost in the Shell, Mobile Suit Gundam, Xenoblade Chronicles. So this is like your all-star. This is like an all-star game of developers. Obviously, it's a mech game. They revealed a little bit of gameplay. There's some third-person cover-based stuff in it, and you deal with mechs. I'd be very surprised if you never actually got into one.
That's actually the most fascinating thing about this game to me. I actually want it to be like, sure, at some point you get in the mech, but I actually want most of the game to not be in the mech. Because it fascinates me to have a game in which you're in a universe in which there are mechs, but you get to see it from the perspective of a person who never got to ride one. Like, that's fascinating to me. It's the same kind of concept of what was it? What was that indie game? This War of Mine. This that I loved. I loved the fact that this War of Mine took place during a very like standard like video game setup. It's a war between two like opposing factions, but you're civilians. Like this is the perspective of the civilians, right?
Yeah.
It's like seeing the events of Star Wars from like a stormtrooper's perspective. or like, you know, someone who is a small bit player in a massive bigger story. Like, I find that fascinating.
That is
So
fascinating.
like, and you could tell that part of the thing that's like, I was looking at the screenshots and I'm like, okay, they're using the Fox engine. Like, just they're flat out using the Fox engine. Like, this is, some of these shots look like they're from like a modded version of Metal Gear 5. Like, realistically. So, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because there's a lot of shit that you could do with the Fox engine, that they could do for future games. So, like, honestly, this was probably one of the more interesting surprises that they shown at TGS. So I'm definitely interested. I want to see more. So hopefully we get like a big gameplay trailer that shows us more like what the game is going to be about. Then I will keep my eye on it for sure.
But yeah, that was pretty much all the news that we got out of TGS. And overall, I found this year really disappointing. I don't know, maybe I said the same thing last year, and maybe I need to start setting my expectations lower. But I thought this year was not great. Now, you know, part of the issue here is that TGS is meant specifically for Japan. It's Tokyo Game Show. Mm-hmm. So there's a bunch of games that get announced that are only for Japanese audiences. So, like, we don't talk about them. We don't even see them. A lot of websites don't comment on them because, like, some of them are never coming stateside.
We just know. Right.
Yeah. So, but you know, at the end of the day, we can only judge these things from our perspectives, right? You know, like I can try to judge it from a Japanese person's perspective, but I'll fail. So,
yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was disappointing. You know, it was a bunch of re-releases. We got a re-release of Zone of Enders. We got a re-release of Dragon's Crown. We got a re-release of what was the other game? Whatever, I can't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, then like 13 Sentinels. Okay. What the hell, guys? What's the actual hell? When was this game announced? Remind me.
A while ago. God, that was when we were still in the 60s as far as podcasts, I think.
Yeah, it was teased in 2015 and it was revealed. Well, yeah, it was revealed TGS 2015. It's been 3 years. 4 TGSs, right? Yeah. Wait, no, we're in 2017, not 2018. What am I saying? 3 TGSs.
Yeah. And we've got nothing. I don't think we've gotten. We've literally not even like a second trailer, really.
I mean, we've gotten a bunch of trailers, but all the trailers always show the exact same thing: a bunch of characters walking to the right, and then a bunch of characters walking to the left, and then with some odd shots of like giant mechs and stuff. And that's it. Like, literally, none of us know how this game is going to play. Still, all these years later, it's like, guys, come on. Show us something, for the love of God. You know, like, I was actually so pissed when they were like, oh, gameplay trailer for 13 Sentinels. And then I watched it, and just a bunch of fools walking around again for the 3rd TGS in a row. And then they reveal, now we're going to wait until TGS 2018. To get, like, you know, maybe some sprinting this time, or if we get lucky, maybe we'll get like some like backflips or something. It's like, what the hell, guys? You know. So there's that, and then you know, barely anything. From Dragon Ball FighterZ. You know, I was like, I'm gonna set my expectations low, but it's TGS and this game, you know, it's Dragon Ball.
Did we get? Well, no, like this TGS was when we got all the Dragon Ball news, right? Like we got that was in an article.
We got like very short trailers for Tien and Yamcha, and that's it. You
know? But dude, Yamcha, come on.
But like it was like a 30-second trailer for both characters. There's barely any
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they showed this, but I remember I did find a clip of Krillin and Android 18 along with Android 23, I think, or 21.
Yeah, 21, but it was a boring ass clip. It was like Krillin, Android 18, Goku talking to Android 21. It's like a 1 minute quote unquote trailer of just a cutscene of them.
I like the fact that at least it's. I guess it's because it's like I've seen other fighting games do the portrait story modes, and those can be kind of boring. Like, so I'm kind of glad that we're actually getting like different camera angles and some animation and whatnot. So that was more of like, okay, at least now I know what to expect with the story mode, you know?
Yeah.
But it wasn't exactly like a big. Now for me, it's like I totally get why you were totally disappointed. But I was kind of
big one yet, but please do.
Oh, okay. Well, I know what your big one is, but it's like. For me, it was like I was kind of happy because I got so much Monster Hunter news. I got so many details about Monster Hunter World. I got so many interesting factoids and information about the game. I got the release date that I was not expecting, you know. So in that regard, I was happy, but I mean, as a whole, it was like it could have obviously been a whole lot better. But I wasn't like immensely disappointed because I was getting like so much Monster Hunter news by the day, and just like, hey, guess what? We've made the character creator not shitty like every single other Monster Hunter game. We've allowed you to customize your palicos a whole lot better this time around. You know, we've made skill trees a lot more simpler to understand. You know, and it's just every little bit of news every single bit of Monster Hunter World news that has come out in like the last like 2 weeks has been fantastic because it's all quality of life. It's just all quality of life stuff that should have been done like years ago. But anyway, so why don't you reveal your biggest disappointment of not showing up?
Bloodborne 2? Guys, what's the actual hell? When okay, is it just not happening? I guess it's just not happening. That's because for me it's like, okay, sure, they won at E3. I was like 100% sure they're gonna be at E3 this year. Then they won at E3. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. They're gonna be at TGS. They're gonna be at TGS for sure. Nope. So yeah.
Maybe VGA if we're lucky.
Nah, VGA is shit. We're gonna get like, I mean,
well, to be fair, Dark Souls 2 was technically announced at VGA.
Yeah, a long time ago. The VGAs don't do that shit anymore. The only chance of us seeing Bloodborne 2 at the VGAs is if what these idiots called if Telltale Games is making a Bloodborne game. That's the only way we're gonna see Bloodborne.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I would love to see what the Telltale version of a Bloodborne game would be. I'd be so fascinated by that. Like,
there'd be no dialogue. You just be like, fear the old blood. That's the entire game.
It would be like feast the old blood, fear the old blood, like fight the old blood, and then just silence, and those would be your 4 options.
But yeah, like, cause I mean, at the VGAs, that's all they announced now. They only ever announced Telltale games. They barely ever. I can't remember the last actually.
Well, they showed. I think they showed a bunch of what was the Death Stranding. Yeah, I was actually. You know what? I was surprised there was no Death Stranding at TGS this year.
Really? Because like for me, well, yeah, you know me. I've already told you that game. We're not seeing anything about that game, like anything actually concrete about that game for a very long time.
I have more faith in getting more stuff from that than fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake at this point.
Yes, another one of those games that I was like, yeah, it's
See, no, like now, see. I was pretty defended. I was defending Final Fantasy VII Remake as we'll get something, we'll come out, don't worry about it. But now I'm at the point where it's like no, because I know enough about how that game was actually how the production of that game has been a bit of a clusterfuck, in the sense where it's like they announced the game way too early. And they essentially didn't actually have people starting. Like, literally, they had a group of people working on that game, and then they fired them because it was not reaching the level of quality that they wanted.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, now the game actually starts development. And it's been, I think it's been a year since they actually started development, and the trailer came out in like 2015 or 6. Was it 15 or 16? No, it was 15. Yeah, it was 2015 when that trailer came out. And it's just like, yeah, now I don't really have a whole lot of faith anymore.
Oh really, Tana? I'm sorry. I'm like so small. When you were like, they announced the game way too early. I'm like, oh really, Tana? Oh really?
Really? I know.
Oh really?
Yeah, I know. And it's like, it's one of those things. Hey, when Fawaz is right, he's right. You know, you were right. I'm not gonna dispute you on that. Like, the game got announced way too fucking early, and I was hoping and praying to God that we were gonna get something, and we got two. Remember how I was shocked that remember how I was shocked at the PlayStation Experience we actually got gameplay.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? That's way sooner than I thought. This game they must have actually started, and they must be pretty close to finishing this, you know, or like they've a good percentage of it's done, and it's like no. So yeah, I mean, TGS was something. I was happy with Monster Hunter, but yeah, they could have showed off a lot more, so that was disappointing.
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, to wrap up, we gotta. Yo, sorry, you wanna wrap this up?
No. You wrap this up. I stole your thunder. I'm sorry.
Yeah, to wrap up, we got a couple of questions from the lovely J Streets.
Shout outs to J Streets.
There it is.
There it is.
And the first question goes, what games do you regret never playing? Yeah, that's an easy one for me. The first one is Dark Souls, easy. I love Dark Souls 3. I really enjoyed the game. I think I've said it's like ad nauseum on this podcast. However, I feel like I would have liked the game a lot more if I had actually played the original Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's one of those shitty. You know what? And that's, you know how you talked to me about why haven't you played Witcher 3 yet, right?
Yes.
It's one of those things where I know I will probably like Witcher 3 a lot more if I actually know what the fuck happened in Witcher 2. You know?
But see, the difference is that, Dark Souls 1 is like, fun. The Witcher 2 is extremely long and not extremely fun.
No, the reason why it was not extremely fun for me was because I was running it on it with a subpar computer. And that's another thing. I'm also looking into actually upgrading my processor because I feel like that's actually causing a lot of problems on my computer right now. And there's certain games that I just know would run a whole lot fucking better if I had a better processor. And it's one of those, it sucks in the sense where it's like, if Witcher 2 had come out for the PS4 or PS3 at some point, then I would have just bought it for the console because I know at least it would have run better. But it never did. But no, I get your sentiment in the sense where it's like, yeah, it's one of those games where it's like Dark Souls 3 is a good game, but you probably would have appreciated all the nods and, like little, Easter eggs and so on and so forth in that game if you had played Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is that your answer, Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Okay. So mine's kind of an interesting one because I technically did play it, but I've had this weird kind of experience with it. So for the longest time, I never actually got around to playing Okami. Like, I never got around to playing it when it came out around the PS2. And
what game?
Okami.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I just never got around to it, and I heard good things about it. But I was playing Twilight Princess. I was playing other games at the time, and I was like, whatever. And then when I finally got around to playing it on the Wii, I was really surprised with the level of quality that was on display. Like, I was like, oh my god, this game is super rad. It's got an amazing art style that holds up like insanely well. Like I was shocked at how good the game looked, like considering that it's a PS2 game, and the fact that it had interesting gameplay mechanics, and I loved the art style. I loved the story. Like I love the character, the drunken swordsman. Like that drunken swordsman's great, right?
I think the little guy that's always chasing ladies' tits, that guy too, right?
Yeah. That guy, he's great. Or the barmaid that actually her hair is made out of like kegs, essentially. Yeah, and it's those little like artistic things that I thought was really cool. And I got halfway through the game, and I was having so much problems with the Wii. Just the Wii remote was dying for me half the time, so the motion controls were not working. And I feel like that game, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more if I had just played it on the PlayStation 3. You know what I mean? Like, just...
Oh.
And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I regret never really playing it, I regret never playing it when it came out, but I also regret never really finishing it because of outside problems. So I guess that would be my answer, I guess. That's the best I can give. Because usually... I can't really think of, and there's not many games that I can think of, at least off the top of my head, that I just flat out haven't played, period. That I just, because I don't have that scenario where, I don't have the Dark Souls scenario, Yeah. Because usually when I get into a game, I never start at like 3 or 2, right? Yeah. I will always start with the first one. Like, I've very rarely, I think the only one that I've ever actually done that for is Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2, I think, is the only one in which I started with the sequel. And that was actually the peak of the series, so I guess that's a good place to start, I guess.
No, I think that's the worst place to start. It's literally all downhill from
Yeah,
there.
you know what? That's a good point. So don't make that mistake, folks. So J Streaks also gave us another question.
Yeah, he goes another. Sorry. Yeah.
His other question is what is your favorite offline multiplayer game?
So you want to take this first?
Sure. I'll get my way obvious answer out of the way. It's Smash Brothers. Like it's just I think whenever I think of couch co-op, when I think of an offline multiplayer game that I could just put on the TV and play with friends, it's always Smash. Like it's always Smash. Like every game, every time I think of whenever I have friends over, it used to always be like, all right, we're talking, and what game do you want to play? And it's like, we could play this. And it's like, do you want to just play Smash? And we're like, yeah, let's just play Smash. You know. Like, because we could always just have a fun, goofy time playing that game, and it's like even I have a friend who is not really good at video games, and he doesn't particularly care for them that much, and he could just jump into Smash and have fun, you know. So it's a great like party game, you know. It's a great game to have a bunch of people over and get super drunk, right? Like that. So that's why like every time I think of the like what is my favorite couch co-op game, I just gotta say Smash. Especially the thing about Smash that also is really nice is that it's got a great roster. Hey, look at that. Just keep kicking that dead horse.
Just keep beating that dead horse. Yeah, but mine has to be Guilty Gear. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I literally play the game every week, you know? Every week I go out and I play the game with friends. So, like, that's, like, hands down my favorite offline multiplayer game. Especially now in this day and age where most multiplayer games are better played online with friends and stuff. Guilty Gear is just that, like, last bastion of a dying breed. I just, you know, I go out, we bring our consoles, we hook them all up, we play. Sometimes I don't even play. I just go out and just chill with people, you know? So, yeah, Guilty Gear, that's my shit right there.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, you know what's funny? I've never really got... You know what's funny? Now I think about it, the only fighting game, like I want to say like actual fighting game that I've actually played with another person in the same room was Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
Oh my god.
And that was because I forced my friend to play it. And because I got the game for Christmas, right? And then I was like, man, I really want to play this game with other people, but nobody I know is into Persona. And it's like this weird anime fighting game. So what I would do is I would tell Alex, hey man, you want to come over? And he'd be like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then he would be like, and I would be like, hey, so we're going to play this. And be like, do we have to? And I'm like, okay, we'll play 10 matches and then we'll play something else. And that's how I got to play. And it was funny because he got pretty good with, what's his name? Fuck. It was in Arena Ultimax, it was the dog and the kid.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy. He got really good with him because he's got a thing where he always really likes characters that use spears because he thinks that characters using spears is really underplayed in video games. He says like because when you think of like video game characters, it's swords, it's shields, you know, sword and board, you know, it's great sword, it's dual blades. There's not a whole lot of just flat out only spears characters that he can think. At least he could think of. I don't know. There's probably, you know what? There's probably millions. There's probably thousands that we just don't know about. And I'm sure someone in the comments will go, "You guys are a bunch of idiots. How do you not know about this amazing character with the spear? Get your shit together." And my response to that is that like, hey, listen. This is the Game Smash podcast. I did not say that anything I talk about is right.
And I think the character is Ken, Ken Amada and Kumaru, right?
Yeah, exactly. Ken Amada. That's his name. But anyway, no, great question, J Streets. And if you got a question for us, don't forget to leave it in the comment section, and we'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. And as always, is your host with Liberty, and
was Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.